Welcome to Health Coach for Women. Intentional living for more happiness and fulfillment in your everyday life with your host, Marsha Roopchand-Walker. Join Marsha as she shares her own personal wellness journey, as well as stories from our guests that will enlighten and inspire you to move towards better health and happiness. Now, here's your host, Marsha Roopchand-Walker.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Health Coach for Women. Today, I'd like to talk to you about living with intention, intentional living, right? And that's what this podcast is all about, right? Living with intention and living with purpose and intention, and in order so that we can live a more meaningful and fulfilling life. Right? And that comes when we talk about intention, we're talking about all aspects of our lives, right? And that's being intentional with our health, being intentional with our goals, being intentional with everything that we are trying to accomplish, which is good, positive, and even the things that are not so good, the things that we need to work on with ourselves. We need to be intentional with that as well. Of course, because we all know that no one is perfect and we all are not without blemish. We all have some type of flaw, right? And that's okay. But the thing is that we should be striving for every day is to be better than the day before, to be better than who we were yesterday, right? And so how do we set our intentions? How do we do that? How do we set our intentions for who we wish to become? Right? And so it all boils down to the mindset, right? And how you view the world. So the question is, how do you view the world? What does your lens look like? So if I was looking through your eyes, what would the world look like? Is it gloom, doom and gloom, full of fear, full of sadness, full of regret, full of being depressed, right? Full of anxiety? What does your world look like? And so we have to take control of our health. We have to take control of ourselves and the things that we wish to accomplish. We can't leave it in someone else's hands, right? Because you can go to a coach, you can go to a doctor, you can go to anyone to seek for help for the things you wish to improve. But in the long run, they can give you all the skill set. They can give you all the skills you need, right? They can give you all the tools you need to become better and to live with more intention, to be happier, to be more positive, to be more giving, more loving, to see the world from a different lens with more vibrant, more vitality, more love, more excitement and fulfillment, right, than what you could currently be seeing from right now. And so, but without your own action, your own intention, without the actions that you put behind it, nothing will come to bear fruit. Nothing will happen. So what do we do? How do we combat that? How do we combat those things that seem to be nudging at us and seems to be keeping us stuck where we are? There is so much that we can learn from practicing mindfulness. There's so much that we can do and so much we can learn from it, right? So what are some of the things that we can do? We have to focus on having a more positive outlook, a positive mindset, and doing some mindfulness practices, lessons, along with really just being okay with where you are right now, right? Being present. And that's important as well. Being present because we can't focus on the things we don't have or the things we had, right? Dwelling on the past and worrying about the future. These things tend to keep us stuck. Instead of being present right here and right now, right? Instead of being present right here, right now, in this very moment, right now, wherever you may be, just enjoy your surroundings. Just enjoy where you are in this present moment. Some of you may be out taking a walk, right? Some of you may be at home doing something for the kids, or maybe doing nothing at all, just sitting here and listening to my podcast, which I appreciate. Thank you. But when you're here, when you're right here in this present moment, the only thing that matters is right now, right? The only thing that matters is right now, where you are right now. And it comes from this place of gratitude, right? Just having an attitude of gratitude, of being thankful. I'm here right now in this present moment. I'm still able to have things that work, right? Things that operate. They may not have functioned as well as they used to, right? But they're still operable. They're still functioning, right? Your hands, your limbs, your feet, your vision, your sight, right? Your hearing, your sense of smell, your taste buds. You're able to taste food, right? And so these little things we can't take these things for granted, right? We can't take these things for granted, because we all know that life can change at the blink of an eye. Things can change in an instant before you know it. You could be headed on your way to work, to wherever you're going to, wherever your destination may be, and it's not a guarantee that you'll make it there, right? Something can happen, right? So we need to put our mindset on just being present, taking that moment to just breathe in that fresh air, right? Taking a moment to smell those fresh flowers, right? Hopefully you went ahead and treated yourself and doing things to practice that self-care. Treat yourself to flowers. No one is buying you flowers. Okay, buy yourself some flowers, right? Buy yourself some flowers. No one, thought about you on whatever, on your anniversary, your birthday, or whatever. Treat yourself. It's all about loving yourself and treating yourself. And so we have to have this intention. We have to put our minds and our heart, right? And fully with our heart to really love on ourselves, to really love on us, right? And we can love on others, right? And that's a beautiful thing, right? This world operates better at a higher frequency when we are loving one another and treating each other with love and kindness. It doesn't matter your race, your sex, your gender, your sexual orientation. Who are we to judge someone else, right? And we have to be focused on ourselves, right? Focus on who we are and who we wish to become, and sharing that goodness, the good part of us, with others. Sharing that good part of us with others, and being okay with the things that is not so perfect, not so great, because we all know that perfection is an illusion. And when you set your intentions on something, when you set your intentions on just being a better person, you have to set your intention with that mindset, with that frame of mind of, this is who I wish to become. This is who I want to be. This is how I want to show up in the world. I want to show up as my authentic self, right? I don't want to show up as anyone else but myself. I don't want to be like anyone else other than myself, and not try to be like anyone else and not follow what someone else is doing. Set your own trends. Be your own trendsetter. Be a leader, right? And so we have to keep ourselves open. And what I mean by keeping ourselves open, being open to receiving new information, being open to expanding our mindset, going beyond certain limitations, going beyond limits, right? and expanding our knowledge and getting to know other people, getting to building solid relationships, right? But first, in order to do that, we must have a solid foundation with ourselves, right? Having a solid foundation with ourselves, and and for those who believe in a higher power, which myself included, having that relationship with the Creator, right? And when you set your intentions for the things that you want, the things that you desire, the person who you wish to become, it's about believing it as well. You have to believe it. If you don't believe in yourself, then everything that you wish to accomplish, everything that you wish to become, it will basically be fruitless because there is no true belief in what you're saying, right? And so let's just say, I am a number one selling author, whatever. I'm using that as an example. I'm a best-selling author, right? I'm a best-selling author. I'm a world-renowned speaker, whatever. I'm a great plastic surgeon, whatever it is for yourself. If you truly don't believe that and you really lack confidence, there's not a match, so to speak. There's no match. There's no alignment, because what you say and what you truly feel are in conflict, right? And I talked about that before, being in alignment, right? So what you say about yourself but what you really feel and how you treat yourself, right? It's not in alignment. So being intentional also, it means to be in alignment, being congruent, being in one accord, sharing that one vision, believing in yourself, believing that it's possible for you to achieve the things you need to achieve, expressing that gratitude, right? Having that gratitude, being thankful every day, being present. These are things that help to keep you to be in alignment and to live with intention. And to live with intention, purpose, right? We can't always get everything right all in one day, right? And everything comes from trial and error. There are things you're going to learn. That life is going to hit you, right? And knock you down throughout your lifetime, right? In some way, shape, or form, whether it's losing a loved one, getting a divorce, just moving forward, starting a new job, losing a job, whatever it is, life is going to knock you down at times. But it doesn't matter how many times that life knocks you down. What matters is that you continue to get back up. You continue to get back up and being even more determined. Yes, you can say, well, I'm tired now, right? We've all may have experienced that a time or two where we just felt we are tired. And those of you who are older can understand and can relate to where I'm coming from. But you have to remain focused, keeping your eyes on the prize, and remembering to be intentional by being present. And being present is, again, forget about the things from the past, right? Not dwelling on the things of the past or the things that you didn't do and you wish you would have achieved, and maybe you could have handled a situation differently. Those things are of the past, right? Those things are of the past. Now, if there's something that you may have said or wronged someone in some kind of way and harmed them, then you can seek their forgiveness, right? And be okay with the outcome. Being okay with the outcome. And not dwelling or worrying about the things from of the future, right? Not worrying about the things of the future. Oh, well, what if this happens? Oh, what if this happens? Sometimes we talk ourselves out of so many things, so many goodness that could come to us. We push it away with our own negative self-talk and operating from this place of fear and saying, well, what if this happened? Because we're expecting the worst. You're already having these expectations of expecting the worst. Well, what if this happens and what if this doesn't go right? And what if this fails? And what if this is wrong? And what if they don't like this? And what if she doesn't like that? And what if he doesn't like this? What if they don't approve? You have to stop for a moment and say to yourself, wait a minute. What am I doing and why am I doing it? What is the real motive? What is the real intention behind what I'm doing? And you have to ask yourself that. How does it benefit me and how does it benefit others? Right? And then people go into, and I'll use a good example of a business relationship, right? Maybe you may want to do a collaboration. Maybe someone has two people have a great business idea in mind and they want to come together on a project and do something together that will help both of their businesses, right? And so they come together, right? But one has the intention of doing something to gain something simply for themselves without regard for the other individual, right? And this could be in a relationship as well. It doesn't have to be business. I'm just using it as an example so that you can see when you have your intentions on setting your intentions for the good for yourself is fine. But if we're going into something where we're involving other people, it has to be some type of fair exchange. It has to be some type of equal, something mutual, right? I'm doing something for you. I'm giving you something, and this is going to help me, but I'm also doing this for you so that you too can also acquire. It's not where it's a selfish act, right? And when we're doing something, when we're being intentional about something, we're doing something where it's beneficial for all involved. I'll say for all involved. Now, again, it depends on the circumstance. So, of course, if I'm telling you, hey, go out and treat yourself and buy yourself some flowers, go ahead and do that. Or, I'm not going to tell you, hey, take your last dime that you have that was supposed to be for groceries and go splurge it on getting your hair done, right? We prioritize things, right? We set priorities on what's important, right? And so by being intentional, we are being mindful, right? Being mindful of everything we do, being intentional with it, where and the outcome is to do good, right? For yourself as well as others. When we are being intentional, when we are living with intentional. We cannot look outward for someone to fill our cup, right? A lot of times we tend to do that. We look outward for someone else to fill our cup. And that's the wrong way to go about it. Fill your own cup, right? And so that's what I mean. Fill your own cup. Do something for you, right? Fill your own cup. Treat yourself to flowers. Treat yourself to getting your hair done. Treat yourself to an outfit. Buy yourself an outfit. But buy yourself a wardrobe if you want to do that. As long as you are, of course, keeping things in priority and perspective that, you're not going to blow the rent money and go shopping, right? So everything is within limits as far as when we're talking about splurging and doing things for yourself. And I tell you, a walk in nature is free. So we need to do that. We need to do those things. Taking a walk in nature, getting some sun, taking a walk in a park, doing things that's enjoyable for yourself. Being positive, keeping a positive mindset, being open to new possibilities. And when we set our intentions, we are not only keep being present and expressing gratitude, we are being mindful of our thoughts, our actions, our habits, and behaviors, right? And so this is how we can acquire the things that we want, right? We don't look outward for someone else to give us those things that we seek. We need to fulfill them and obtain them on our own. Because what happens when someone doesn't fill your cup the way you would like them to, right? And so what I mean by that is, what if someone doesn't make you feel the way you expected them to feel, or they don't do a certain action that you expected them to do, right? End up being angry towards the other person, building resentment, right? Because we expected them to do a certain thing. And so we have to keep the lines of communication open. And when you're feeling a certain way, when you reach a level of calm, when you can have a conversation, you have a conversation with the individual, and it's okay to express what you are experiencing, right? It's okay to express what you are experiencing, because in order to gain understanding from another person, another individual, is that we have to listen. We have to hear them. Now, it's their perspective, right? Or it's your perspective, but we have to be open to listen. And we have to be mindful of not reacting when we feel offended, right? We feel offended by what someone says, so we instantly want to react. And so we have to check that. We have to check that and leave it at our door. Leave the ego at the door. Just drop it, right? And let's not get caught up in our emotions. Let's not get caught up in our emotions when we're feeling a certain way about a certain situation or a certain individual. We have to be able to have open dialogue, open communication. Again, setting that when we're feeling this level of either anxiety or anger or bitterness or resentment, we have to bring that level down. We have to bring it down to a level of where we are able to have a level-headed, decent conversation. It doesn't mean that we are going to agree. It just means that we can hear one another's version or perspective or ideas, right? Without being angry and without being putting our guard up and having our defenses ready for a comeback. We need to learn to listen. So that's what intentional living is: being present, right? Being present with and accepting where you are right now. Right. And I can just go on and on about it, because there's so much to being intentional, right? And being intentional, living intentionally, and doing things on intention, right? When we're doing things, we need to keep the mindset of being mindful. Again, if you haven't had the experience of doing mindful exercises, there's a bunch of it that you can find on Google. It's all over. I mean, you can find it everywhere. There's books on it. There's apps on mindfulness. There's so much that you can do. And if you can practice mindfulness, being present, along with that gratitude, it'll take you somewhere far. It'll take you places that you didn't know existed. It'll take you places that you didn't know that you were capable of reaching, right? Because some people, choose. Now, it's a difference when you're choosing to stay stuck. Some people choose to stay stuck, and some people don't know how they can get unstuck from being where they are, right? And so it's about being present, being mindful, right? And we want to reduce our anxiety, right? So we need to practice deep breathing, right? We want to have more self-love with ourselves, right? To develop more self-love, we'll start practicing self-care. Stop neglecting yourself, right? Stop neglecting yourself. Do something, treat yourself to something. Do something for yourself. Take care of yourself. You have kids, and maybe you have small children, or even you're raising grandchildren, whatever it is, and you're just so caught up in doing everything else for everyone else and neglecting yourself in the process. And I see it in the healthcare field a lot, because it is a fast-paced environment. It's very fast-paced, and there's always 101 things to do and more. And so what are some of the things that we do? We snack on the go, or we don't eat lunch, we skip lunch. We're neglecting ourselves because we have to get this done. We have to pass these meds at a certain time. We have to get this person ready at a certain time. We have to do this. We have to get this ready. We have to get ready to take this patient here, or this other person here. We have to do that. Everything, the charting has to be done, right? Everything they want it yesterday. They want it yesterday. So we are in this fast-paced, high-level stress, where we tend to end up not meaning to do it, but it happens. And before you know it, oh, it's time to go. It's time to go home now. Now you're so tired, you're worn out, you're beat. You don't feel like doing anything. You don't feel like taking a walk. You don't feel like maybe doing any exercises. You don't feel like, oh, I'm just going to grab something on the go. I'm hungry now. I'm going to stop at McDonald's. So it's about being mindful, taking the time to think and reflect on these things, in which we need to improve on for ourselves. Because the only way that we can truly find happiness is if we look within ourselves. Look and acknowledge where you are right now and accept where you are right now. And it's not to beat yourself up on where you are right now, right? And there's no judgment, right? And so you don't judge yourself harshly. Forget about judging yourself, right? It's about what you do today to make a better tomorrow. So you take action today by doing something today. I don't care if you do deep breathing. I don't care if you doing Tai Chi, whatever it is, any form of movement, to be in this state of flow. And we need to focus on being positive, being more kind to one another. And this is all a part of intentional living, because being intentional and living, or having intentional living, it's a beautiful thing. And when you can share that with someone else, it's even a better thing. It's even greater, right? It's even greater. And to be able to just to be happy, and you don't even have a reason. You're just happy, maybe simply just because you woke up this morning, right? You're just happy because the sun is shining, right? How many times we wake up maybe and it's kind of gloomy outside, and when the sun just peeks out from the clouds, it's like, boom, it just helps with your mood, right? It just makes you feel better that the sun is shining and it's bright, and the sun rays are beaming on you, and the birds are chirping. Let's be intentional with the things we do. Let's be more mindful in how we treat one another. If you have an issue with someone, don't make a judgment, just have a conversation. If you have an issue with someone and you're not really sure what it is, ask a question. Ask. Don't make an assumption. Don't assume. Don't be misinformed by the messenger who's carrying you the wrong information. Don't be misinformed. Ask a question, right? And be willing to sit down and have an open dialogue with someone else, right? Without the anger. So it's best when we make decisions based on our emotions at that moment. And so that's why you have to put your emotions in check. And you do things when you are at a level head, when you are in a sense of calm. Stop expecting someone or other people to do things for you. Stop setting these high expectations. And then you wouldn't have to worry about the big letdown or the hurt, or it's not what I expected, it's not what I thought, or he didn't do this for me, or she didn't do that for me, or they didn't do that. When we go in without expectations and we tell ourselves, it's just like when you're loving someone unconditionally, it's not with conditions, right? It's it's accepting that person. And when you love someone unconditionally, it's loving them for all of who they are, the good as well as the bad, right? The good as well as the bad. And so I can go on, but that is all I have for you today. Let's be intentional in how we treat people. Let's be intentional on how we treat ourselves, right? Because again, the best relationship you can have is the one you can have with yourself, right? Many people are battling with themselves, right? And because they don't like who they are, they want to go ahead and now, express and put that on other people. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. You need to find who you are. You need to find who you are, right? And accept the things about yourself that, that could be better. And it's not about judging. It's not about putting anyone down. It's about just knowing who you are. And you want to live your best life possible. And if you truly want to be happy, because superficial things are just superficial, right? Or the luxuries of the world are just superficial things, right? And that's just at face value, right? That's nothing. But the deep part of you and who you are is who you are on the inside and what you express out to others. So that is all I have for you today. Let's live with intention, being mindful, being present, expressing gratitude, accepting where you are without judgment, and knowing that you are going to take action to be a better you, to be a healthier you, right? To be a more positive you, operating from a place of love rather than anger and fear, right? Lose the fear, right? If you lose the fear, you lose the anxiety. Okay, lose the fear, you lose the anxiety. Be grateful for what you have today. Eat better, eat healthier, and you will live better. You'll feel better. Take a walk in a park. Do some exercise. Call a friend, a family member. Chat with someone on Zoom. I don't know. Whatever it is that is for you that works, do that. That's all I have for you for now, my friends. I thank you so much, and I appreciate you listening in. And tell someone about Health Coach for Women podcast. It doesn't matter where you are in your life. There's always room to learn more and to grow. That's all I have for you for now. Stay safe and be blessed.
Thank you so much for listening to Health Coach for Women with your host, Marsha Roopchand-Walker. If you've enjoyed this podcast, please be sure to rate, subscribe, and review on your preferred podcast listening platform. We really appreciate that effort. Until next time.